I've never shared anything on Reddit before, but for most of my life, I've been sort of a supernatural magnet. My friend has been encouraging me to share some of my stories. I might post this one a few different places, just to see if it sparks any interest. I'm not ever going to use any real names in my stories. Just pretend my name is Faye. This happened about 5 years ago, when I was still in high school. At the time, I was really close friends with a guy. Let's call him Jason. I'd recently told Jason about how a lot of things happened to me that are difficult to explain. We kind of got to talking about my different encounters, and he asked me, seemingly hesitantly, if I had ever seen a demon. I said that I didn't think anything quite so sinister had ever crossed my path. Jason then explained to me that his mom was worried that something strange was happening in their house. He said she had gotten sudden chills, heard some strange noises, and had been feeling uneasy in general in the house lately. Now at this point I had exactly zero experience with demons or anything of the sort, so I was not aware there was anything to really worry about. I told Jason I would come over that weekend and see if anything felt out of the ordinary. A few nights later, my phone lights up at 4 in the morning. It's Jason. He says I need to come over ASAP and that something wasn't right. He said he'd been hearing scratches in the walls and had dismissed it as just a squirrel or something, until that night when the scratches started knocking. He said he could swear it was like someone was knocking rhythmically from inside the walls. I was at his house by sunrise. I was preparing myself for the worst when I got to his house. The only thing I knew about demons was what I had seen in the movies. I was ready for head spinning and projectile vomit. When I got there, it was nothing. I felt nothing. Everything seemed completely normal. I went all over the house, put my ear to the walls. I even checked out the creepy basement. I felt nothing strange or sinister. I didn't want to make Jason feel like an idiot, so I just gently assured him that whatever was there was gone now, and that he didn't have anything to be afraid of. Secretly, I thought he had just over-exaggerated the whole thing. We all left the house for the day. Later that evening, I was back at his house for dinner. His parents went to bed, and we were in his living room downstairs, talking about nothing in particular. The conversation eventually shifted naturally over to his mother's suspicions. We were talking about the scratching and knocking in the walls, and we were kind of joking around about it. You know, that feeling when you're talking about something that you know you really shouldn't be talking about. The conversation just felt off suddenly. I felt wrong about talking about it. Just a general feeling of uneasiness all around. I abruptly changed the subject. I eventually headed home around 11 p.m. Jason lives pretty far out of town, in a heavily wooded area. I was maybe halfway home and suddenly, inexplicably and horrifyingly, a feeling hit me like a brick wall. This white-hot rage overcame me. It's difficult to describe. It was like I had passed through a fog, and on the other side, I had come out homicidal. Something was in Jason's house, and it followed me home. I don't believe I was possessed, because I remember it all. I was definitely me. I was just this cocktail of aggression. Then, in the middle of the road, I saw what I thought at first was a wolf. The closer I got to it, the more I realized it wasn't an animal I had ever seen before. It had all the physical traits of a dog or a wolf, but it was so much bigger. It had wild black fur, and its teeth were bared. It looked simultaneously ragged and enormous. It was abnormally low to the ground. That's when I realized it was crouching. It made a dead sprint for my car, and I was too close to it to slow down in time. I knew the size of this animal would likely total my car. I braced myself for a crash. I braced, and waited, and opened my eyes, and it was gone. So was whatever had followed me home. I've told this story to a few of my friends, and they all agree that it sounded like the dog I had seen was a hellhound, and it was looking for whatever had followed me home, and it took it back to wherever it came from. From what I can gather from the situation, my first experience with a dark entity was when a naughty demon followed me home from a friend's house, and its hellhound dad showed up to spank them. Hey guys, this is Sir Pent, and I'd like to thank you all once again for subscribing to my channel. Like I said before, I'm honored that so many people, so many human beings with hands typing on keyboards, found what I do even slightly enjoyable. I'd also like to apologize for I haven't updated the channel in a couple of weeks. It's been like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and I'd really like to apologize for that. I try and keep a daily upload schedule, but I am terrible at keeping schedules. I really am. And, I don't know, once again, I'm I'm dumbfounded. Like, 9 people now. There's 9 people who have subscribed to this channel, and I find it amazing. I guess I'll see you all in the next video, right? It should be up tomorrow. It's definitely gonna be up tomorrow. I can promise you that right now. There will be a video up tomorrow. So, stay tuned. Make sure you stop by. I'm Sir Pent, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.